Hi, everyone. Welcome to another spontaneous edition of A Course in Miracles. We're live today, and the question on everyone's mind who works with A Course in Miracles, we're going to ask Jesus the question today: is it even possible to be unfairly treated in a world where the conversations seem to be about neglect, abuse, the mistreatment, false accusations, all types of pointing the finger and blame in a world of the blame game where somebody or something or some circumstance or situation is to blame, in a world of injustice that seems to be part of the fragmentation of the world. We have to ask Jesus, is it even possible to be unfairly treated? We're looking at the whole topic today in A Course in Miracles of injustice. So we're going to start off with chapter 26, the transition, and it's actually section 10, the end of injustice. So what does Jesus have to say? What a title, the end of injustice. What then remains to be undone for you to realize their presence? That's capital T, capital P. That's the Holy Spirit and the Christ. Only this: you have a differential view of when attack is justified and when you think it is unfair and not to be allowed. When you perceive it as unfair, you think that a response of anger now is just, and thus you see what is the same as different. Confusion is not limited. If it occurs at all, it will be total, and its presence in whatever form will hide their presence, capital T, capital P. He's talking about the Holy Spirit and the Christ. They are known with clarity or not at all. Confused perception will block knowledge. It is not a question of the size of the confusion or how much it interferes. Its simple presence shuts the door to theirs and keeps them there unknown. What does it mean if you perceive attack in certain forms to be unfair to you? It means that there must be some forms in which you think it fair. For otherwise, how could some be evaluated as unfair? Some then are given meaning and perceived as sensible, and only some are seen as meaningless. And this denies the fact that all are senseless, equally without a cause or consequence, and cannot have effects of any kind. Their presence, Holy Spirit, Christ, is obscured by any veil that stands between their shining innocence and your awareness that it is your own and equally belongs to every living thing along with you. God limits not, and what is limited cannot be heaven, so it must be hell. Unfairness and attack are one mistake so firmly joined that where one is perceived, the other must be seen. You cannot be unfairly treated. The belief you are is but another form of the idea you are deprived by someone, not yourself. Projection of the cause of sacrifice is at the root of everything perceived to be unfair and not your just deserts. Yet it is you who ask this of yourself in deep injustice to the Son of God. You have no enemy except yourself, and you are enemy indeed to him because you do not know him as yourself. What could be more unjust than to be deprived of what he is denied the right to be himself, and asked to sacrifice his Father's love and yours as not his due. Beware of the temptation to perceive yourself unfairly treated. In this view, you seek to find an innocence that is not theirs, Christ and Holy Spirit, but yours alone, and at the cost of someone else's guilt. Can innocence be purchased by the giving of your guilt to someone else? And is it innocence that your attack upon him attempts to get? Is it not retribution for your own attack upon the Son of God you seek? Is it not safer to believe that you are innocent of this and victimized despite your innocence? Whatever way the game of guilt is played, there must be loss. Someone must lose his innocence that someone else can take it from him, making it his own. You think your brother is unfair to you because you think that one must be unfair to make the other innocent. And in this game, do you perceive one purpose for your whole relationship? And this you seek to add unto the purpose given it. The Holy Spirit's purpose is to let the presence of your holy guest be known to you. And to this purpose, nothing can be added, for the world is purposeless except for this. To add or take away from this one goal is but to take away all purpose from the world and from yourself. Each unfairness that the world appears to lay upon you, you have laid on it by rendering it purposeless, without the function that the Holy Spirit sees. And simple justice has been denied, thus been denied to every living thing upon the earth. What this injustice does to you who judge unfairly and who see as you have judged, you cannot evaluate. You cannot calculate. The world grows dim and threatening. Not a trace of all the happy sparkle that salvation brings can you perceive to lighten up your way. And so you see yourself deprived of light, abandoned to the dark, unfairly left without a purpose in a futile world. The world is fair because the Holy Spirit has brought injustice to light within, and there has all unfairness been resolved and been replaced with justice and with love. If you perceive injustice anywhere, you need but say, "By this do I deny the presence of the Father and the Son, and I would rather know of them than see injustice, which their presence shines away." So, pretty strong from Jesus. Basically, that's the end of injustice. How? How is there injustice? How is it ended? Workbook lesson 23. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. The idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will ever succeed. Nothing else will work. Everything else is meaningless. But this way cannot fail. Every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. It is with your thoughts, then, that we must work if your perception of the world is to be changed. If the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. There is no point in lamenting the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change because it is merely an effect. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. Here, you are changing the cause. The effect will change automatically. The world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in it is a symbol of vengeance. Each of your perceptions of external reality is a pictorial representation of your own attack thoughts. One can ask if this can be called seeing. Is not fantasy a better word for such a process, and hallucination a more appropriate term for the result? You see the world that you have made, but you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images and transform them so that you will love them, even though they were made of hate, for you will not be making them alone. The idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see because its cause can be changed. This change requires first that the cause be identified and then let go so that it can be replaced. The first two steps in this process require your cooperation. The final one does not. Your images have already been replaced. By taking the first two steps, you will see that this is so. And lesson 31. I am not the victim of the world I see. Today's idea is the introduction to your declaration of release. Again, the idea should be applied to both the world you see without and the world you see within. In applying the idea, we will use a form of practice which will be used more and more with changes as indicated. Generally speaking, the form includes two aspects, one in which you apply the idea on a more sustained basis, and the other consisting of frequent applications of the idea throughout the day. As you survey your inner world, merely let whatever thoughts cross your mind come into your awareness, each to be considered for a moment, and then replaced by the next. Try not to establish any kind of hierarchy among them. Watch them come and go as dispassionately as possible. Do not dwell on any one in particular, but try to let the stream move on evenly and calmly without any special investment on your part. As you sit and watch your thoughts, repeat today's idea to yourself as often as you care to, but with no sense of hurry. In addition, repeat the idea for today as often as possible during the day. Remind yourself that you are making a declaration of independence in the name of your freedom. And in your freedom lies the freedom of the world. The idea for today is also a particularly useful one to use as a response to any form of temptation that may arise. It is a declaration that you will not yield to it and put yourself in bondage. I am not the victim of the world I see. So how beautiful that we have these beautiful words from Jesus. You know, Jesus said 2,000 years ago, if someone smites you on the cheek, turn the other cheek. He said, blessed are the meek, for they shall overcome the world. Yeah. He said, forgive 7 times 70. Yeah. He said, judge not, lest ye be judged. He's teaching us to be calm, to be still, to be quiet, to be tranquil, to be serene, to be the peace that God created. Our beautiful identity, our Christ identity, to be forever and ever and ever, eternally free, eternally peaceful, joyful, happy. Yeah, that's what we're opening to today. That's what we're opening to. Yeah, we will not be tempted. We will not be tempted to the belief in injustice, to the belief in abuse, to the belief in neglect or in conflict, any form of mistreatment. We're not going to believe it because God didn't create it. And if God didn't create it, it is not. It is not real. It has no real effect. It's an unreal projection of an unreal cause, the ego in the mind. So, yeah, I'm hurt by nothing but my thoughts. It's the beliefs and the thoughts that have to be exposed and released for there to be consistent, peaceful happiness and divine love. That's it. That's what we are worthy of that. We are worthy of that peace. We are worthy of that stillness, that internal calm, stately calm within. Yeah, we are so, so worried. We are so blessed. We cannot be swayed from this peace and this tranquility. So go forth. Yeah, that's very practical. Ask Jesus, is it even possible to be unfairly treated? And be still and let him whisper, no. God is just. Heaven is just. And when you are as God created me, you are incapable of being mistreated. Yeah. Savor that. Feel that release. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, and thank you for joining this piece.